Little ASMR for y'all. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'm probably gonna miss some hairs, but we'll be alright. I had a lot of grays, man. I'm getting old over here. All right, YouTube, check it out. As you can see, what we got here is we got the XCeed shaver, clipper, and trimmer. If y'all don't know, your boy did do an unboxing on these a couple weeks ago. So in this video, I'm actually gonna be talking about these tools and letting y'all know what I think about these tools. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video. All right, so first thing is first, we are going to be talking about the new Gamma X-Ceed shaver. And all in all, man, I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. I got to say, I'm actually really impressed with the way this thing works. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like I said, me personally, I'm a babyless shaver type guy. For the past 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know how long it's been, but for like the past at least 5 years, all I've been using on my station is babyless shavers. However, once I got my hand on the XCeed shaver and started using it, I was like, man, this thing is it. Like, this thing works really, really well. Gets the hair down super short, super quick. You don't have a lot of irritation. You don't have to keep going over the client's head or face to get the hair down. I've used it on bald heads. I used it on bald fades. I've used it on tapers. I've used just the backside. I've used both. Like, all in all, man, I want to say this thing does work well. And then I got to add that I really like that they sent you the charger with this shaver. So when you do purchase this, you do get the charging dock with it. And that's pretty dope because I like to display my tools on, on my station. So that's pretty dope that it comes with that. We do got a dual head on top right there, as y'all can see, the hypoallergenic gold foils. Now, I'm not sure if they have replacement foil heads just yet, but I need to get me some. Because like I said, this has been my go-to shaver. This has been my workhorse shaver probably for the past, month or so, ever since they sent me these joints right here. So I've been using it nonstop, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with the way this thing works. Not all the way, it's halfway. I don't necessarily want to say that it works better than a babyless shaver, but if it doesn't work better, then it works just as good, right? So that's just, you know, what I think about this shaver off the rip. And like I said, I've only had it for about a month, so we're gonna have to keep using it to really see how good this thing works. And I'm gonna take this back to the shop and I'm gonna keep it on my station and keep using it because I really like the way this shaver works. Now, moving on, we talked about the shaver. Now the next thing we're gonna do is talk about the trimmer right here. Now y'all saw me just go over my face a little bit with this trimmer. I wanted to see how it felt on my skin. I actually used this on myself, but I wanted to do it again on camera for y'all, just so y'all can see it, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, man, I think that this trimmer is a really well-rounded trimmer. When it comes to balding, it balds out good, and when it comes to lining, it lines up good. Now, I will say that I believe that the Gold X Pro blade, like the blade that comes on the Saber, is a little better because I seem to never have problems with those blades. Every time I get a gold blade on a trimmer, it works better, just a little bit, you know, like it lines up a little better. But this thing has been solid, right? Like I'm sure if I actually gapped this the way I needed it to be gapped, it would hit a lot better and be a little more sharper. But I'm not saying that this thing isn't sharp, and I'm not saying that this thing don't line up well, because it does. There's just certain instances where my Saber trimmer lines up just a little better, right? Just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing on for y'all again so y'all can hear it. So I don't know if y'all can tell, but this trimmer is actually really quiet, especially for the fact that it has a vector motor. Now, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me down in the comments, but they brought down the RPMs of this, so it doesn't really work as fast. However, it can ramp up and work faster and work harder when you get to like thicker hair, you know, more dense hair. It is gonna start to kick up a notch and start working a little harder. But they kind of, like I said, ramp this down a little bit to where it helps keep the trimmer not as loud as y'all can hear here. And it's gonna keep the blade from getting hot. A lot of people were having issues with the blades on vector style motor trimmers, and I think the fact that they did that to this trimmer lets us know that they're doing something to try to fix issues, right? Like if you have an issue with your trimmer blade getting too hot because it's a vector motor, I think they fixed that with this trimmer right here.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
All in all, ergonomically, I think the trimmer is fine. Wish it was a little thinner, you know, just a smidget thinner, because it does feel a little thick in the hand, especially when you first pick it up and start using it. Now I'm a little more accustomed to it, a little more used to it. So it's not that bad anymore, right? Like it still works good, and I still like the way it does feel. Although I wish it was a little bit thinner, but nonetheless, Still a solid all-around trimmer. Like I said, it works well for debulking and works well for lining up. We might put a gold blade on it. We might just zero gap it. I don't know. I may have to give you an update on that. But all in all, great tool, right? So moving on, that is the trimmer. Now we're gonna move on to the clipper. Now I know y'all probably thinking like, Tank, you kind of moving pretty quick here. Well, I don't want this video to be super long, you know, and I'm just giving y'all like the main things I need to tell y'all about these tools. So like I said, the shaver works well, and I don't even know if I turned the shaver on, but let me turn the shaver on for y'all once again. Shaver's a little loud, but most shavers are, right? So that's the shaver. I'm gonna turn the trimmer on again for y'all. Trimmer sounds a lot quieter than any of the other vector motor trimmers. And then now we have the XCeed clipper. Now I'm gonna spend a little more time talking about the XCeed clipper because there's certain things that I wanna talk to y'all about in this video. Now, first thing is first, I had a lot of people ask me is like, bro, why would Gamma put 6 notches on the clipper opposed to 5 like normal, right? Well, basically what they did was they give you a stretch lever on this clipper with clicks, right? Now, I know they could have probably done it differently to where it would have been the same amount of clicks, but still stretch that much. But for whatever reason, they just decided to add another click and give the clipper that stretch lever, right? Now, people were like, bro, that's dumb because now you can't go open halfway and close. Like, it's gonna be kind of offset, right? Like, you can't really go in the middle. But I'm here to say that there's a way around that, meaning, you know, you set your bald guideline in and you're gonna do a bald fade. You open up the clipper all the way. You go up, you know, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, a whole inch, however much it is you go up for your haircuts. And then what I like to do is I like to close it 1 notch, just close it down 1 notch and come right below that, you know what I'm saying, in that same motion. And then I close it halfway from there, come halfway into that section and then close it all the way and hit that bottom line. So that's the way I do it. I'm sure there's different ways you can do it. And I'm sure there's still gonna be some people saying that adding that extra click just to get the stretch is kind of dumb because you really can't get in the middle. But I found that doing it the way I just said, you know, open all the way, close it 1 notch, close it 2 notches, and then close it all the way. I feel that that has worked really great for me, and it still keeps my same system in play, right? Like I don't really have to worry about, you know, changing my whole system up because we have an extra click. You just gotta learn how to roll with the punches, really, right? So that's that. We do get the Gamma Echo blade. Me personally, I am a big fan of the Echo blade. DLC, you know, diamond like carbon. That way, it keeps it from getting hot, keeps it from overheating.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
So we do have a vector motor in this clipper, just like we do with the trimmer, but I'm gonna turn this on for y'all so y'all can hear the motor of it. Now, in the video, it may not sound like it, but this clipper is not as loud as the original vector motors, right? Like, and once again, that has to do with them not having the RPM so high on these tools. So it is quieter than like an Instinct and an Instinct X. Once again, it's hard to hear on camera, but it is quieter than the Instinct and the Instinct X. And also, I haven't had any issue with my blade heating up, right? Like, once again, a lot of people were complaining that their Instinct X, the Instinct trimmers, or the Instinct clippers, even the 360 Jeezy clipper, they were saying that their blade got hot. With this, to where it's not as, you know, the RPMs aren't as high, you don't really have that issue with the blade heating up. And once again, that's because they kind of drop the RPMs on the motor a little bit. However, since it is a vector motor, it still does speed up when you get through some thicker or some more dense hair. So you get the best of both worlds, basically. You get a clipper that's not super loud, a clipper that isn't gonna get hot, but then if you need it to, it can speed up and really get through that longer hair or that thicker hair to really get it down to that length. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with this, you know, XCeed clipper. And in my opinion, all in all, I like the way this thing works. Ergonomically, it's cool. I wish it was a little, you know, it had something a little different to it. Like, it just feels like a regular clipper in the hand, because it's not like, you know, it's not designed, you know, like the, you know, I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, but like design-wise, it looks okay, right? Like, yes, it has the X on it. Yes, it's got the colors at the bottom, and you can change the colors, but I'm talking about like the way it feels. It feels good, but I just wish they probably would have made it look a little different. But nonetheless, as far as performance-wise, I think this thing performs great. Like I said, it's got a vector motor on it, which is really good for debulking hair, especially if they have really thick hair, because the clipper is gonna speed up, and it is gonna help you get through that thicker hair easier. And then I like that if you don't really have to go through thicker hair, you can just use this as a regular clipper, and it's not going to overheat, and it's not going to be too loud in the client's ear. So me personally, I really think that this is a good tool from Gamma as well. And once again, I do want to state that when you buy these tools, you do get a charging dock for each one. So if you buy the clipper, if you buy the trimmer, and you get the and you buy the shaver, you're going to get 3 different charging docks for each tool. So you can put these on your station. You can purchase the Gamma and Stylecraft 3 Connect. I think that's what it's called. But you can't purchase that. That way you use one plug and you can have them all plugged in. That's how I got them on my station. And me personally, man, I'm going to keep these things on my station. Not just the clipper, but I'm talking about the trimmer and the shaver as well, because me personally, I really like the way these things are working, so I'm gonna keep them on my station. Once again, I might mess with this blade, might gap it a little closer, may put a gold blade on there. Not 100% sure yet, but I want this thing to be like my go-to trimmer, so we're gonna figure that out. But nonetheless, man, this is a solid set to get your hands on. You can purchase these at GammaPlus.com, or I'm sorry, GammaPlusNA.com, and use my discount code TANK10 on that website. Or you can go to FWBarberSupply.com and use my discount code TANK10 on that website as well. So pick whichever website works best for you, whichever one they have them cheaper at, which to be honest, I think it's at Fort Worth Barber Supply. But you can, you know, pick whichever one and use my discount code. I'd greatly appreciate it, and you save yourself a little bit of money. So with that being said, man, once again, the Gamma Plus XCeed trimmer, clipper, and shaver. Awesome go-to clippers, awesome great tools, and I wouldn't say you need to get them, but if you're trying to upgrade your arsenal, you might want to look into these, because right now, personally, I feel that these are probably my personal favorites right now, right? So with that being said, man, that's basically it for this video. If you like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy, and that's basically it, YouTube. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.